Hello and welcome to Community Conversations. I'm your host, KK Conachero. Every new school year brings change, and we enjoy devoting an annual segment to introduce some of the new principals taking lead at schools throughout the district. Fremont Unified has 6 new principals this fall who are either brand new or starting out in their first full year. A few you might recognize, and a couple are newcomers to Fremont. Joining us today to talk about their new roles with the district is Hirsch Elementary, Christina Arroyo, Patterson Elementary, Jorge Gonzalez, and Ardenwood Elementary, Mr. Ellie Wasser. Thank you so much for being here. So appreciate your help with this. Okay, so I want to know, because who's new and who's not? Tell our viewers.
I have been in Fremont since last year, but I assumed the principalship in January.
So
Patterson.
This will be your first full year. Okay, Christina?
I have been with Fremont Unified. This is going on my 21st year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ellie?
And I'm the new person in the room. This is my first year in the Fremont Unified School District.
Well, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
So, I want to know, when you, first of all, did you two start out as teachers? Because I know you did, right?
I did, yes.
Did you?
I did. I started as a Spanish teacher in high school.
Teacher.
Yeah.
And you, did you start as teaching?
As science and mathematics at the high school.
Okay. So, going from a teacher mindset, was it hard to transition into this new role? How's it been going for you?
I think having the experience of being a classroom teacher is something that only provides insight and benefit in terms of being a school leader. I think most specifically when you're trying to reduce feelings of anxiety or concern about new curriculum implementation, having that experience of being a classroom teacher and knowing some of the different scenarios that teachers have to navigate every day, it helps to have that background for sure.
Do you guys agree?
Absolutely.
Yes. So what was your motivation to leaving your teaching role to an admin position? What was that like? What did a friend say you should be the principal? Or a friend said you'd be great at this, or a coworker? I mean, what motivated you to make that leap? Because that's huge.
It is huge. For me, I was involved in different committees at the high school that I was working with in Salandro High. And so I was part of doing the WASC accreditation, and I was also part of the curriculum committee. So someone just mentioned, hey, how about becoming an administrator? And that kind of gave me the push. It took me another year before I started the program, but that was where the seed was planted.
Okay. How about you?
Well, since I've been with Fremont for so long, I was really involved at my school that I was working at, and then I slowly started taking steps because I have a younger daughter, at home, and so I worked on, kind of being an instructional coach, and kind of kept working, getting more involved in the district, and then came to the district office as an administrator, and then so it just kind of, it was my pathway.
Did you become a principal at the school you used to teach, or do they not like that and they want you to be a principal at a different school? How does that work? Do you get to choose?
It's not really that you choose, you still interview and you still apply to become a candidate for a principal role.
Okay.
And so I'm not the principal of the school that I did most of my years at.
Okay.
But
still exciting?
Yes, absolutely.
So what motivated you?
Well, I come from a family of educators, and so just being involved in educating youth has been a part of the dinner conversations at home my entire life. But my brother entered into an administrative credential program, my older brother, and so got inspired from him to follow that role.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you did. Glad you did. So, how has been adjusting or introducing or meeting with parents been like? What is your take on that? I mean, because parents are a big part of your daily life. They're giving them your kids, they want to know who the principal is. Are they been receptive, or are they barking your ear off, we got to change this and this and this, or how's that been going?
I would say that it's been going wonderful. It's been going great. every time I go to a new event, or even just being out the yard or greeting them before school or out on the after school campus, they're friendly, they're waving to me, they're talking with me, introducing themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think being a father myself as well, I know the type of interaction that I would want to have when I'm speaking with my children's teacher or the principal, and so trying to make sure that I'm reflecting on that every time I have an interaction to make sure that I'm performing to that standard. So.
That's great.
But it's been wonderful.
Oh, good. And yourself?
And I will share the exact same feelings. Our community has been great. Our PTA is super involved, and they want the best for their children. And it's one of the things that keep me going. And I know I can rely on the parents to support us as a school, and also I have parents just stopping by to say hi, others to share concerns. But I have an open door policy, so I definitely want them to feel welcome at any time.
Yeah. Okay. Now I know you've been here for a little while, but what were your two first impressions of Fremont Unified when you first got here? What did you think of us? I mean, was it like, wow, this is crazy, or wow, this is I
thought that this was huge. I've spent most of my teaching and administrative career in the Newark Unified School District, just across 880, and obviously it's a smaller community than Fremont is. So just blown away by the size of phone directories and different lists of who to go to for different needs. And so just the size is a bit overwhelming, but pretty much everybody that I've called has offered me help and has been very receptive in terms of just welcoming me to the Fremont community.
It's nice.
Yes, and I agree. I came from San Leandro Unified, so it's a smaller district as well. And coming to Fremont, I realized I didn't know how big it was. But I'm also a member of the community, so I've been familiar with the schools for a few years now, and it has been great. One of the things that I noticed is how close the teams are, the teachers as well as the administration and the leadership. Everyone's so goal-driven and making sure that the students are at the center and core of everything that we do. And for me, that's been something that has attracted me to Fremont and keeps me motivated.
Okay, so I have to ask this because with all of your backgrounds in education, what was the one thing that really surprised you in being a principal that you had no idea this was part of your job? What has surprised you? Because a lot of people think, oh, they're a teacher, they know everybody, they walk in and now everything's the same, but it's not the same. So what has surprised you that you didn't think was part of the job, whether it was good or bad?
I think for me is the number of hats we wear.
Yes. I think that's key. Because a lot of people think you sit behind your desk and you do a little bit of paperwork and you talk to teachers and parents.
No, in
You're
many
like
ways,
the CEO of that school.
it's like it's a learning community, but it's also like you're managing a small city.
Yes.
It's where you're dealing with budget, you're dealing with personnel, you're dealing with students, you're dealing with safety, you're dealing with education, food, and so just
perishables.
The number of hats, like you said, is
mind-boggling.
And I think even too, no matter how many plans you have in place and you feel like, okay, if this situation arises or if this arises, this is what I'll do. When it comes down to it, sometimes that may not be the step that you take or the plan that you take, and
not
creativity
working with people.
is really working.
I would say also probably the level of email is a step up from.
So what was your normal email per day, and now what is it? What are we talking about?
Yeah, I wouldn't clock it in the number of individual emails. It's probably the number of hours at different random points in the day that it takes to keep up.
Yes.
So.
And that's what's surprising is you go to a meeting or you do an observation or you do an assembly, and then you click that little button to see, refresh your email, and you're like, whoa, where did all these come from?
And it feels like meaningful. I mean, the information's meaningful and relevant, but it's just the
I was just gone for half an hour.
Yes.
And because you're the principal, I'm sure you get emails from everybody, right? Especially the parents, what you really have to address to respond as soon as possible. You know, Fremont, we speak over 130 different languages here in the community, and there's different pockets of all of these different cultures, which is great. It's fun. It's interesting. Can you talk about the ones that represent your particular schools? Because I just out of curiosity, I'd like to know. Do you know offhand?
I could say I'm still learning, you know, a lot of them, you know, especially as I'm going into meetings to support student learning, learning of, you know, we need this translator, is this translation of a language available? And so to name, you know, all of them, I mean, I know that one thing that's come in handy is, you know, I do have a Spanish-speaking community, I do have a Hindi-speaking community, and I have people there along with and Telugu, and a lot of other languages.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll take the opportunity to put an invitation out for our English learner community. Next Thursday on October 11th, we have our ELAC information night. So we're trying to involve families in partnership with their child's education. So that's one
awesome.
of the goals that I have for the school is increasing the strength of our ELAC committee.
Great.
I didn't know you were making announcements. Well, our ELAC our ELAC meeting is next Tuesday at 4 p.m. In the library at Patterson. Feel free to come in.
And we had our first one last week because we had our parent that was represented from there, that was elected from there, go to our district ELAC committee. And so that was really nice to see, because I know that when I looked at the previous one to call them up and say, you know, are you interested, there wasn't one. And so it was very encouraging to see the families that did show up and families that were very eager to attend that district committee.
So I got to ask one more question, because, you know, as a parent, I'm used to so-and-so as principal. Okay, now I have a new principal. How do you get that message out to parents before? Because I'd like to say hello to you on my first day of school with my kid, to say, hi, I'm so-and-so, you know, I'm Johnny's mom, and nice to meet you, welcome aboard. But do you give parents an opportunity to do that? I know the first day of class is always hectic, but, you know, for parents, that's a big deal. Do you send out emails, you know, this is your new principal, or is it in a newsletter, or is it on, well, how do you do that?
I know for Hirsch, the PTA did contact me during the summer and say that they would like to hold a meet and greet on the first day. And so I was able to do that, and, you know, had our MUR packed and was there just to talk to parents, share a little bit of information about myself. But I also did that at back to school night to those families that couldn't meet that. And then I'm just out there present on our campus, you know, in the front area of our campus to make sure that families can reach out.
Okay, great. Do you guys take a similar approach?
Your response was great, because those are pretty much identical. Our PTA has been helpful in scheduling meet and greets. Back to school night, we had an introduction that I gave to the community. But just basically at every interaction, making sure that parents know that there's an open door policy.
Yes.
And then when the first day of class, do you have like an open assembly so the students can get to know you? Or is that, how does that work?
For us, we held an assembly during the first 2 weeks of school, just to get to know the students, for the students to get to know me and put a face to the title, and at the same time to go over to
all they know is you're the principal.
Exactly. They hear my voice on the speaker, but we also went over the rules and expectations policies with them, so they had the opportunity to ask questions about me and about the school as well.
Nice. Same with you?
For me, it was a little bit different. We are a smaller school in Fremont, and so I actually did a visit to every single classroom to greet the students. So I had about 5 to 10 minutes to kind of talk with them just on that very first day and let them know, you know, what the priorities were, you know, of them being safe at school, you know, along with having fun. And just, you know, went around and greeted every every student that
What
way.
a luxury to have that ability to go to every class.
It
Wow.
was. It was.
So were you able to go to every class? Or an
I'm going to be
assembly?
embarrassed if there's a few that were missed, but we've got about 1,000 students, and I
wow.
went into every classroom.
Did you really?
And we have a character trait contract that students pledge to learn about various character traits through the year and try to model those. And so we have students sign that, and then I also sign it with the class, and so we're all collectively agreeing to focus on these character traits.
That's
So
1,000 signatures.
well, I only have to put mine down 40 times
Oh,
for each of
okay.
the individual classes, but yeah, I had to
Wow.
review 1,000 signatures.
Well, this has been great. Congratulations to all of you, and welcome to all you too. I know you've been here for a while, but welcome. Congratulations to you. This has been great, and welcome aboard. From everyone here at Community Conversation, we appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you.